What's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and not to be outdone by our friends over at WotC, Paizo has released a new update today called Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remaster Project. So we have another revision to an existing set of core rules from a different fantasy-based TTRPG company. We're going to walk you through the announcement from Paizo's blog today. I do apologize. I cannot get Paizo's blog to look like good. It's in this weird gray on black. It may be hard to read, and I do apologize for that. I've tried. I've changed my themes and settings and a variety of different stuff within Chrome, and I just can't get it to look any better. So here's what I got. Gray on black for you. That's the best I can do. All right, I'll read it to you, though, so if you can't read it, just listen. Today, we are pleased to reveal the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remaster Project. 4 new hardcover rulebooks that offer a fresh entry point to the Pathfinder 2nd Edition role-playing game. The first 2 books, Pathfinder Player Core and Pathfinder GM Core, released this November, with Pathfinder Monster Core coming in March of 2024, and Pathfinder Player Core 2 in July of 2024, completing the remastered presentation of Pathfinder's core rules. The new rulebooks are compatible with existing Pathfinder 2nd Edition products, incorporating comprehensive errata and rules updates, as well as some of the best additions from later books into new, easy-to-access volumes with streamlined presentations inspired by years of player feedback. So, it seems like we're getting, again, if you're new to Pathfinder or haven't really started, kind of like me, I've got like the base box set and I think 1 book. And it's something I do want to get into. It sounds like I'm actually in a pretty good spot to jump in because they're going to make it a lot easier for me. So, like it says, clearly errata and rules updates, which, as we know, when you play TTRPGs for a while, sometimes you find certain little things here and there that change. But it also looks like, again, best additions from later books. We might be seeing new talents or feats or what have you, ancestry, all this kind of stuff from Pathfinder making its way into these core books, these 4 books. Now, again, I can't say it's probably going to encompass everything, but you may still be using other 2nd edition Pathfinder books, but a lot of it will jump in here, which is pretty cool. You can see here's the logo here, 2nd edition remaster project. This year saw a huge explosion of new Pathfinder players. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for that. Remastered books like Pathfinder Player Core and Pathfinder GM Core improve upon the presentation of our popular Pathfinder 2nd Edition rules, remixing 4 years of updates and refinements to make the game easier to learn and more fun to play. Okay, that all sounds good to me. In time, the Pathfinder Player Core, Pathfinder GM Core, Pathfinder Monster Core, and Pathfinder Core 2 will replace the Pathfinder Core Rulebook, Game Mastery Guide, Bestiary, and Advanced Player's Guide. So there you go. That's what they are going to replace, those 4 books. So potentially, those 4 books will possibly be getting a steep discount at a point, as those books are basically being phased out in favor of these new books. But it sounds like, I'll likely end up getting those for sure, those 4 new books. Which Paizo will not reprint once their current print run expires. Existing Pathfinder players should be assured that the core rules remains the same, and the overwhelming majority of the rules themselves will not change. Your existing books are still valid. The newly formatted books consolidate key information in a unified place. For example, Pathfinder Player Core will collect all the important rules for each of its featured classes in one volume rather than spreading out key information between core rulebook and advanced player rules. Also, I was going to say it, it's the next line. There you go. The new core rulebooks will also serve as a new foundation for our publishing partners, transitioning the game away from the open game license that caused so much controversy earlier this year to the more stable and reliable Orc license, which is the license written by Paizo and Azura Law, which is currently being finalized with the help of hundreds of independent RPG publishers. This transition will result in a few minor modifications to the Pathfinder 2nd Edition system, notably the removal of alignment and a small number of nostalgic creatures, spells, and magic items exclusive to the OGL. These elements remain a part of the corpus of Pathfinder 2nd Edition rules for those who still want them, and are fully compatible with the new remastered rules, but will not appear in future Pathfinder releases. So I'm sure we'll get a list of those. So again, not that I think I need to recount what this was, but basically, if you didn't know, even though Pathfinder 2nd Edition did not really use the open game license in any aspect. It did still add the attribution of the open game license to the second edition books. And as such, that meant that they were potentially subject to the issues of what was happening with the OGL. That being said they were going to print some books without any license at all, and once the Orc license was finalized, all of their books would shift to that, and that is basically what we're seeing here with this new remaster update project. So let's read that last sentence because I think that's important. The transition will result in a few minor modifications to the Pathfinder 2nd Edition system. Okay. Notably, the removal of alignment. Okay. And a small number of nostalgic creatures, spells, and magic items exclusive to the OGL. So that would mean that if there were monsters covered under the OGL, which I guess means SRD stuff, perhaps, that they were using kind of on license, whether that was, I really don't know what it could be, right? If there were monsters in Pathfinder that were just basically adopting stuff from the OGL or the SRDs that were tied to said OGL, they're going to basically distance themselves from that entirely for the purposes of it. And they're also going to remove the alignment system, it sounds like, entirely, right? The chaotic, neutral, etc. And then again, a small number of nostalgic creatures, spells, and magic items. I'm very curious to see what those are. So again, once that list is out there, if anybody finds it or compiles it, let me know, and I'd love to make a video on it. These elements remain a part of the corpus of Pathfinder 2nd Edition rules for those who still want to use them, because they'd be in the existing books that are out there, and are fully compatible with the new remastered rules, but will not appear in future releases. Right, makes sense. In the meantime, Pathfinder's remaining projects and project schedule remain as is and compatible with the newly remastered rules. This July's Rage of Elements hardcover, along with the Lost Omens campaign setting books and our regular monthly Adventure Path volumes, continue as planned, as does the Pathfinder Society organized play campaign, which will incorporate the new rules as they become available. So there's an FAQ here. Is this a new edition? No. It does not change the fundamental core system design of Pathfinder. Small improvements and cosmetic changes appear throughout, but outside of a minor changes in terminology, the changes are not anywhere substantive enough to be considered a new edition. We like Pathfinder 2nd Edition. You like Pathfinder 2nd Edition. This is a remastered version of the original, not a new version altogether. Are my existing Pathfinder 2nd Edition books now obsolete? No, with the exception of a few minor variations in terminology and a slightly different mix of monsters, spells, and magic items, the rules remain largely unchanged. A pre-remaster stat block spell, monster, or adventure should work fine with remastered rules without any problems. What does this mean for my digital content? Paizo is working with its digital partners to integrate new system updates in the most seamless way possible. The new rules will be uploaded to Archives of Nethys as usual, and legacy content that does not appear in the remastered books will not disappear from online rules. We will not be updating PDFs of legacy products with the updated rules. Will the Pathfinder 2nd Edition remaster books be part of my ongoing Pathfinder rules book subscription? Pathfinder 2nd Edition remastered books will be included in ongoing Pathfinder rulebook subscriptions. We are currently working on a method whereby existing subscribers will have the opportunity to opt out of these volumes if they wish, and will provide additional details as we get closer to the release of the first two volumes. What impact will 2nd Edition have on Pathfinder Society? This is the organized play, right? We are working closely with our organized play team to seamlessly integrate new rules options in the upcoming books as those books are released as normal. In the rare case of a conflict between a new book and a legacy source, campaign management will provide clear advice with as little disruption as possible to player characters in the campaign itself. Will there be more remastered core books to come? What about Monster Core 2 or Player Core 3? It's very likely that we will continue to update and remaster the bestiaries in the future, but for now we're focusing on the 4 announced books as well as Paizo's regular schedule of Pathfinder releases. Publishing 100% new material remains Paizo's primary focus, and we look forward to upcoming releases like Pathfinder Rage of Elements, Lost Omens, Tianji World Guide, and Character Guide. Our monthly Adventure Path installments and other exciting projects we have yet to announce. Will the new Pathfinder 2nd Edition remaster books have special editions? Yes, we are looking into various exciting print options for these books and will post more information soon. Will the new Pathfinder 2nd Edition remaster books have pocket editions? Yes, they will. Will these changes impact the Starfire role-playing game? Not yet. How can I learn more about the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remaster books? To learn more about the remaster books, check out our live stream chat about the announcement happening later on Twitch. Beyond that, we'll be making a handful of announcements in the coming days and weeks to showcase more about this exciting project, culminating in your first look at the project during PaizoCon, which is May 26th to the 29th. So there you go. I think this is really interesting, right? We're in this situation. Critical Role announces their role-playing game. We know Cobalt Press has been working on Tales of the Valiant. Wizards of the Coast officially came out and kind of made their playtest that just released today, showcasing the playtest rules for a lot of the rest of 5th edition. But I also find it interesting that this FAQ from Paizo would have been exactly what Wizards of the Coast should have done. They should have released a D&D Beyond article with like this with an FAQ. I know it's still playtest at this point, but like, is this a new edition? And then if you were to read this exactly and just call it the 2024 remasters, right? Is this a new edition of Dungeons and Dragons? No. The Dungeons and Dragons 2024 remaster project 2024 rules revision does not change the fundamental core system design of Dungeons & Dragons. Small improvements and cosmetic changes appear throughout, but outside of a few minor changes in terminology, changes are nowhere substantive enough to be considered a new addition. We like D&D 5e. You like D&D 5e. This is a remastered version of the original, not a new version altogether. That's basically what Wizards of the Coast has been trying to say, but failing in saying it as concisely as Paizo has done here, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's just interesting. It's just like, what a world do we live in, right? That all of these things are happening at the same time. Is it by design? Well, not necessarily by design that it's happening at the same time and that Paizo's announcement was on the same day as the playtest. Maybe that was. But we knew this was coming because we knew the removal of the OGL from the Pathfinder products was something coming in the future. I just thought it was going to be a reprint of the existing books with that removed and the Oracle license inserted. But apparently it's going to be a whole sort of remaster, as it were. So who knows? I'll reach out to, I have some contacts over at Paizo. I'll reach out to them. I'd be very interested in checking these out. And I really want to get into Pathfinder. I do want to try it out, as well as some of these other games. Like I said, I have these rule books. I've been doing reviews of other starter sets and stuff. And, D&D has been what I played for the longest time because it's really all I needed. The OGL did open my eyes to try out other systems, and I have dabbled a little bit in other games, but I do want to try them, even if ultimately I decide that I still want to continue to only play Dungeons & Dragons because that's what I enjoy the most. It's only fair to me and to everybody else if I try the other stuff that's out there and learn and see what I think. So anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this announcement in the comments down below, and I'll see you all next time.